Hello? Alright. Um, I just want to make this video. I don't really care for YouTube or anything, but it would be a shame if I don't share this exactly. And not to waste any time, but the point of this video is to pretty much explain how Bitcoin is the biggest trap of all time. The highest it will ever go is 126,000 if it does go there, but it will never go back above that level, in my opinion, again, or maybe it will have a major fall off. This, right now, what we're seeing as of July 16th, 2025, is a major transfer of wealth, and they're using retail, whatever you could call retail, but let's just say retail, as the exit liquidity. And I'm not trying to say this just as a fear monger for anybody holding Bitcoin. I don't care that much, and I don't even have that big of an outreach. But the reason I'm making this, it's not for money, it's not for clout or anything. It's just a YouTube video. I don't even have whatever ad revenue. That's besides the point. But I'm making this because I've had like this revelation or whatever you want to call it. They are transferring wealth as we speak from Bitcoin into utility cryptos. I could prove it with the chart, but I could also just prove it logically speaking. But for me, the best way to prove it is with the chart. And this doesn't go into cycles or, Bitcoin pumps and all the altcoins pump. That's all bullshit. Yeah, there's altcoin season, but this is the last cycle for Bitcoin before the major transfer of wealth. So, first thing I want to do is just, if you're not bullish on crypto in general, then you're looking at something wrong. The chart on the stablecoin dominance is inversely correlated with crypto, and when this goes down, crypto goes up. Basically, we will see about 4.88%. That's what I could guarantee. That's the low hanging fruit. After that, I don't know if we'll go down here or down here. But with this information, you could use that as you like. We still have quite some room, almost 20%. And I do like that level there. Next is the Bitcoin dominance chart. You could see how on the 3 monthly it clearly closes right at the midpoint very, very easily. 2 months from now, if we ever get a close underneath this candle, you could guarantee yourself that we're going to see Bitcoin fall off into this zone over here, about 15%. I do believe we're going to get a close underneath this candle regardless. And we will see the Bitcoin dominance drop like amazingly. You could already see it coming into action here. You see this closing. If you're just going to do a regular standard deviation, the minimum best case scenario for every Bitcoin bull, maxi, whatever you want to call them, the best case scenario is that 58% it reverses and it continues up. That's the best case scenario because there is no better case. I don't believe it's going to reverse until at least 58%. And even then, I don't know if it's going to reverse there. Me personally, with other factors in my head, I believe that at minimum we could hit 53%, and an extremely bearish scenario will hit 45% bearish. You could see that this order block here is very, very, very strong. And you could tell that this is a valid order block. There's a fair value gap right after it. I mean, it completely sunk off 43%, and it swept this high over here. So there's no doubt in my mind that we're just in the beginning. This is why they're going to transfer the wealth from Bitcoin into other altcoins. And this is not just a regular cycle. I believe that this can be the last cycle. We haven't revisited this order block since October of 2020. Besides these months, we haven't touched this midpoint in over 5 years about. And I'm just using standard deviations to calculate. Realistically, nobody could tell how low this will go. But, I mean, 50% is very easy, 50%. In my opinion, I think we will see some chop around this mitigation block or this order block here. We'll probably see a little up movement. People are buying the dip. And thinking it's going to pump to new all-time highs, and that's not true at all in my opinion. I don't like showing how I chart. I'm not about that, but I do know that they're easily transferring wealth, and I'm going to show you on a dominance chart. I'm not going to show exactly how I get my targets or anything, or how I enter or how I trade it. I'm just making the case that I believe Bitcoin topped out. Bitcoin's going to get rug pulled. It's not going to happen in one day. They're slowly transferring the wealth out of Bitcoin. And that's why you see all these major bullish headlines for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Reserve, whatever. This is the exit liquidity. In order for someone to buy a position, someone needs to sell it to them. So if I own shoes, in order for me to sell it and actually make money, someone needs to buy it. So what are they going to do? I'm going to tell you it's the best shoes on the fucking world. I'm going to tell you it's the best shoes in the world. You could jump 10 feet higher, whatever you want to say. And that's basically what they're doing with Bitcoin, pumping it, telling everybody this is going to a mill, this is the new currency, this is digital gold. In my opinion, it's just not true. I could be wrong, and this video makes me look stupid to the 20 viewers or whatever I get. I don't really care. But I just feel like I'm right, and I know I'm right. So we talked about the stablecoin. We talked about the Bitcoin dominance. Now I'm going to pretty much show you how Bitcoin's looking like it's topping off here. I mean, very easily. Anybody who could read a chart, I don't care what you're trading. I don't care if you're trading trend lines. Anybody who could read a chart clearly sees this, right? That at minimum it could retrace to 50% at minimum. But now let's look at like these altcoins. I don't even like that term, altcoins. Let's just look at utility cryptos that I like. XLM. This is obviously bearish. Nobody likes looking at this. But after it closed above this leg, it came and retraced. This is where you should be buying. Right here. When it was at 22%, that's where you should be buying. But I'm not going to get into that. If we're just going to use some standard deviations, I'll give you some targets. Now, I'm not one of those bullheads that just say XRP, XLM is going to 10,000, XLM is going to 100, XRP is going to 1,000. Minimum, the dominance on XLM is going to grow insanely, 300%. And that's not crazy to see because you could see Bitcoin's ripping. The regular Bitcoin right now, this chart right here, Bitcoin's at all-time highs every day, whatever. But the dominance is falling. And you could clearly see where the dominance is growing. And so at minimum, I see 1.82%. Very easy. And keep in mind, I'm saying at minimum 1.82%. I don't know once or if, I don't like getting too theoretical. I'm just talking very basic, very basic chart. 1.82%. So whatever you want to do with that, that's still a major growth. Let's just take a look at some other ISO ones. Clearly, let me just get rid of this. Clearly, very easy, same setup. XLM is a more laggard one, but this is, let me see what number I could give. You could at minimum, you could see 12.5% on XRP. I'd say at minimum, you're going to see it, what is that, like about a 2, a little bit over 2.5x. That's very simple, but the point of this video is pretty much bring awareness to don't get trapped in Bitcoin. I'm sure nobody's buying right now. It's all fake. There's not even any volume, but just don't believe the headlines. I don't know what some people think, but I just want to make this video to keep people aware. Last thing I just want to point out is I believe, obviously more or less, I can't tell you the exact number, but 126,000 will be the top. It could be 127,000. More or less. I cannot really give you the exact number because we're dealing with such big numbers, but that's very precise. 127,000, 126,000. Around that, I'm sure it could wick up maybe even to 130 if you're super lucky. But it'll have to close underneath 126.5 to prove valid what I'm saying. And the reason this is different from all of this is, let's check the bottom of the dominance chart, which is right here. We see it fall here, but we see it start rising here. And what happens when we're majorly bullish this whole time? We're majorly bullish from 17K all the way up. That's crazy return, but we're climbing. This is all an efficient price action on the dominance chart. But now we got up to here. This is what's going to end it. This is why I'm saying it's not like just one of these regular altcoin cycle, pump, bullshit, whatever you want to call it. This is the end. Thank you.